Hey sightseers, Sightseeing Sally here, and Marty.
Coming to you from Bombay Beach.
Yep, we're exploring this forgotten seaside town, which is now an artist's haven.
Come on with us, let's check it out.
Yes, woohoo! If you've been following me from the beginning, you know we've been here before. And today we're taking a look at it from a little bit of a different perspective than when we were here last.
Got this old refrigerated trailer here. I don't know if they still use it or not, but it's a pretty cool mural on the side of it.
Probably one of Bombay Beach's most iconic places, the Ski Inn. It boasts being the lowest bar in the Western Hemisphere. Normally open 7 days a week, it's currently closed.
Cool old van.
Yeah, it is. Have quite the party with that. Besides the infamous Ski Inn, the only other business here in Bombay Beach happens to be their grocery store. The Chow Mini Market, or the Bombay Market as it's well known, is open Monday through Saturday 9 to 7 and closed on Sundays. And if I'm not mistaken, it is the only place in Bombay Beach where you can find an ATM. If you know anything about Bombay Beach, it's that it's one of the weirdest towns in California. Knowing that, something you might find surprising is that Bombay Beach does have something in common with other small towns. It has a library, or at least its own makeshift library. One of them book return or book sharing things that I guess people in larger cities hate, at least according to Twitter. I was reading something on Twitter and people were all disparaging a woman because she set up a book sharing thing, because apparently when you do that, that puts regular libraries out of business. I don't know. Anyways, being the book nerd I am, I find this totally cool. Not to mention the bus, and then across the street, the really strange goings-ons over there. I think it's some kind of artwork made out of like kitty cars, like Barbie cars, you know, those plastic little cars that kids play with. That's what that is. I don't know what those words mean. If anybody cares to translate, leave it in the comment section below. But to me, it looks like a patch of pink flamingos. Just saying. Here's something you don't see in your normal everyday towns. A rubber chicken on the side of a light pole. Oh look, that one's got one too. This is where you sit and wait for the bus in Bombay Beach. Or not, probably not, but I'm pretty sure some other towns could take that as an example of what a really cool bus stop would look like. Besides the grocery store and the tavern, this is probably the most normal thing that you'll find in Bombay Beach. The Seaside Baptist Church services are at 11 a.m. What we're coming up to now is what is known on Google Maps as Bombay Beach Ruins. And what this really is just a collection of old trailers that had been left here to rot in the sun. As you can see though, the artists have been busy painting them up and trying to revitalize this section of Bombay Beach. Of course, some of the trailers are in such bad shape that no amount of paint is gonna hide the fact that they are what they are. Well, the boat's down over there. We'll walk over to it so you can see what Marty's talking about. But it looks a lot different from the last time we were here. A lot of stuff has been cleaned up, painted over, new artwork displays have been put up. Actually, the last time we were here, I believe, is when the artists first started coming in and putting out art displays. For those of you who aren't familiar with the history of Bombay Beach, at one time this was a booming seaside resort town. People came from all over to vacation here, even celebrities. Then a series of cataclysmic events occurred, including the rising waters of the Salton Sea from several tropical storms that occurred in the early 70s, which eventually flooded out this entire area. Then in 1976, Hurricane Kathleen hit, destroying nearly the entire town because back then there was no levee. Much of what was left standing was abandoned and Bombay Beach became a virtual ghost town. What we're looking at here used to be part of the old marina. Now, because the water receded so much, this is all open, all bare sand. Now, as I mentioned, Bombay Beach has become a focus of artists from all over. And as you can see, they've been setting up their artwork here along the sea. When you think about it, all these artists coming here is pretty much genius, because what's been going on is that it attracts all kinds of attention, bringing people from all over to check it out. Well, Marty, I hate to disappoint you, but this looks like that's all that's left to that boat.
Guess that's what happens when you smoke in bed.
Or other things.
What a shame, that was neat.
Good thing we got pictures of it, huh?
Yep.
What the? Okay, out of all the artwork here, I think that's got to be the creepiest.
Some dog left some artwork here.
Okay, I don't think that's artwork. At one time, this was an area of flooded out trailers that you could see the remains of. Now, the artists have made it into their own creation. It takes a certain kind of mind to be able to see beyond the decrepit and make it into art. Maybe a little bit too much. Wow, that looks totally different from the last time we were here. So does that one. Oh look, that's still standing. If you go back to one of my earliest videos where I talk about why we came down to the Salton Sea, you'll know why I pointed that out. And yes, that is a shameless plug for you to go watch that video. I'll have it linked for you up above, or you can find it in the description box down below. Well, here's some things you won't find in your regular, normal, everyday neighborhood. A hearse with a bullet hole in the window and a giant clam shell.
All that talk about clams, don't you mean oyster?
Oh yeah, I guess they do. Well, here's a few other trailers we filmed back in the day. That one, I think, with the pink is one that had a nice surprise in the kitchen drawer. If you're curious, I encourage you to check out that video. I'll also have that one linked for you up above or in the description box down below. But seeing as we've already been in them, we're not going to go walk through them again because this is a video about the town, not abandoned buildings. Going through the town, you can pretty much tell that the artists have it. And in all reality, how else would you be able to stay living in this town if maybe it weren't for the eclectic people here, the bizarre nature of it, unless you didn't have this stuff. Oh. Talk about bizarre. Oh, that's kind of cool up there on top with the bubbles, the shiny bubbles. Huh. I wonder what that's supposed to depict. I had somebody from back home ask me to do some sort of recon as far as artwork goes to find out what type of art is popular down here in the Southwest. And I'm thinking they're going to be pretty amazed at the things we're seeing here. Or shocked.
Remember all the mannequin bottoms we've seen in Calexico?
Yeah,
Well, in Bombay Beach, they got all the tops here.
I guess they do. And they're topless.
Not my favorite.
Ah, bummer. They're closed. Well, that's one way to use an old toilet. Oh, and I guess that message tells us exactly where they're getting their ideas from. Yeah, this is quite different from when we were here last. This is all painted up. It wasn't like that when we were here. Okay, I said I know we weren't gonna go inside, but you guys gotta check this stuff out. This is just crazy. Man. Wow, this is pretty trippy. Psychedelic, I'm telling ya. I don't even think I can come up with stuff like this in my wildest dreams. Somebody's got an imagination. What you checking out?
Old Jaguar.
Bet you that was a nice car at one time. What was that?
It's a natural history museum. I guess it's locked up.
Whoa! I think out of all the artwork that we saw here, this one here is my absolute favorite. You know what I find striking about this town?
What's that?
That as you're walking around, the only people you see are really people from the outside and not really people from the town.
According to Encyclopedia Jack, he read to me before,
They're vampires.
that there is, what'd you say, 295 people that live here?
That's what the internet said. And you know the internet doesn't lie.
Well, there's a resident.
Yeah.
Sounds like a friend for Mabel.
Look at that old silver trailer on top of that box.
Oh, that's cool. Well, that's a nice looking house. Doesn't really seem to fit in with everybody else in the neighborhood. Well, this is one way to get rid of your old tube TV. Turn it into an art display. All the places in the world I wouldn't have expected to find this here. But yet it seems so fitting in this. If you enjoyed the vid, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up. They are free. If you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and ring that little bell notification so you don't miss out on any future vids. Until next time, this is Sightseeing Sally. Special thanks goes out to all our fellow sightseers here on Patreon and PayPal. Without you, these videos wouldn't be possible.